Weidenbach and Patrick Knowles-Lochmelis round out the... Well, let's start that again. So, shall we? Nikita Genza starts on pole position with Maxim Dirks alongside in the front row. David Maslakovic and Jules Cousin, row 2. Baz Lammers, Karl Borgaard, row 3. Florian Breitenbach and Patrick Knowles-Lochmelis, row 4. Yannick Nielsen and Mats Overhoff complete the top 10 with Nielsen on DD2 Masters pole. Luca Filipponi, Fabian Bock, that's row 6. Nicolas Guillaume and Manuel Tencher, row 7. Timmy Kamets, Brian Anker, Nikolai Christensen, Igor Mukin, Lucas Lippert and Tristan Rennie complete the top 20. Rounding out the 26-strong grid, it's Jan Eckstein, Adrian Nynestad Kirko from Norway, Lucas Dolizal, Dimo Noto Francesco, sorry I nearly tripped myself up with that one, I did actually, Yori Klebor, and from South Korea, SH Moon. There we go. So, 10 minutes on the timer plus an additional lap here to conclude Heats Day for the 2023 Rotax Max Challenge Grand Festival and the Golden Trophy. It is a winner-take-all event, folks. The reason being, after today, we'll have the confirmation of the ranking after heats. We'll also be on our social medias later on telling you who are the class leaders in each of the classes heading into tomorrow. And Vicky, you're more than welcome. I still remember you and Tracy getting your moon boots in Portimao at the International Trophy in 2020. That was a week to remember. And I know, Tracy, for a fact, Tracy and Vicky, you've all got, I think you've both still got your set of moon boots that you bought in Portimao when the weather took a turn for the worse, let's say. But altogether, it was a pretty good week. Right, Nikita Genza has a win. Maxim Dirks has a win. Either one of these two takes a win right now. They are on pole position for the Superheat tomorrow morning. Well, 12:30. It's tomorrow afternoon, actually. 12:30 for DD2 and the Masters Superheat at 12:50. So let's see what happens here. Genza and Dirks on the front row. The mind games have started and we haven't got them up to full speed yet. Right then, out of the final corner. Wait for it. Here we go. The revs rise, the noise increases, the red lights are on, the red lights are out, and it's a good start by Nikita Genza, who immediately looks to his left-hand side, and Maxim Dirks tries to go high, wide, and handsome around the outside. Maslakovic up the inside, gets through. As they all try and feverishly make their way through turns 3, 4, and 5 at an absolute rocket ship-style pace. But it's Nikita Genza that leads the way. Second, David Maslakovic. Down to 4th goes Maxim Dirks, but he's trying to chase down Jules Cousin. There's Patrick Knowles-Lochmelis, who dives up the inside of the 405 from Belgium through at turn 7 off of the Europolan. Baz Lammers is waiting in the wings to work his Dutch magic very shortly. But Lochmelis did not hesitate through turn 7. He launched it right past Dirks, who's now got Lammers for close company. As the 408, the Flying Dutchman, for many a year, a Sodi Kartworks driver, back in the saddle here at Karting Genk, and he's now going to go for the move. Lammers on Dirks, and the Dutchman makes it through for P5. Nikita Genza is not quite getting away, however. David Maslakovic and Jules Cousin are closing on in. And now the real chase starts. Karl Borgaard in 7th place, chasing down Maxim Dirks, who is now down into 6th position in his own right. Leading the way in DD2 Masters, it's Yannick Nielsen in 8th place, and he is quite a few places in front of his next competitor, Belgium's Luca Filipponi. Oh, mistake there from Lochmelis. Sparks flying from the back end of the Birole RT as Lammers gets through, and now he's trying to put the frighteners on Maslakovic. Jules Cousin has pulled away, and here comes Lammers. Maslakovic is not giving anything to Lammers in any way, shape or form, but never mind that. Lammers on true top form as always. And Elia Papasena has just mic dropped into chat. Thank you, Elia. But at the moment, the lead is 0.6 of a second. But folks, look at the timer. We've got over 7.5 minutes still to go, plus an additional lap of this race. So there is every possibility that Bas Lammers will decimate a 1.4 second disadvantage and bring it back into his favour. He's already started pulling away from David Maslakovic from Poland, who's got the likes of Lochmelis. DD2 with a send from absolutely way back when, through on Lochmelis and overtakes the Latvian to retake 5th position. Great timing there from DD2. And behind them they've got Carl Borgaard. There's Fabian Bock. He just went up the inside of Yannick Nielsen. And not too far behind them is Florian Breitenbach in the meantime. Nicolas Guillaume, Manuel Tenchet, Mats Johan Overhoff are all in the thick of all of this. So 6 minutes and 51 seconds plus an additional lap still to go in this race. Genza, if the way things are, if Genza still finishes 2nd or 3rd, well, even if he finishes 4th, he will be ahead in the ranking after heats and put himself on pole position for tomorrow's super heat at 12:30 local time. So 6 minutes and 20 still to go. Battle happening between Yannick Nielsen, who's piggy in the middle. He's got Fabian Bock in front of him and Florian Breitenbach behind him. Meanwhile, Bas Lammers, new fastest lap. Here we go. 54.431 seconds. And he has pulled a gap of nearly 0.8 over David Maslakovic. This is Lammers of old. You know what? I'm going to have to probably send a link to my good friend Martin Christensen over in Denmark. One of my good friends through the Classic Kart Race 100cc European Grand Prix, organised at the Voyens Motorsport Arena earlier on this year in late August. But you can definitely bet your bottom dollar the fireworks and the sparks from the underneath of the chassis are going to be showcased in this battle here. Great move by DD2 on Maslakovic. And now he's getting assaulted from all sides, because through goes Lochmelis, and now is Carl Gustav Borgaard going to make it 3 through on the Polish driver? Not quite, but gets the cut back through turn 3. Borgaard using a little bit of assist with the curbs. Absolutely epic stuff from the 4.37. So Bas Lammers is the quickest out of the top 3. He's a 10th quicker than the race leader through sector 1. 21.809 for Lammers, 21.908 for Genza. Jules Cousin is slightly slower. Lammers has beaten them again in the 2nd sector, so Lammers is trying to really up the pace, but of course he's got the superheat to consider tomorrow. And this is where that ultimate bit of strategy, you've really got to sort of look at where your strategy is going to be best placed, especially for tomorrow's superheats. And we've got 9 of them in total, folks, so expect the unexpected tomorrow morning. From around 10 past 10 local time, we'll be going on to Central European time as of 3 o'clock CEST tomorrow morning. So, yep, that's going to give you an hour's extra laying in bed. However, those not resting on their laurels, DD2 has definitely got his elbows well and truly sharpened. He was saying to a certain tall Latvian by the name of Patrick Snolls Lochmelis, well, my elbows are sharpened, come on, try it. In the meantime, well, Bas Lammers a new fast... Well, he's just equalled his fastest lap of the race. Bas Lammers twice in 3 laps has put in, and he's gone quicker again. 3 fastest laps in 4 in a row as Lochmelis finally pulls the trigger, gets past DD2 and now starts defending through turn 3. And Bas Lammers, folks, is 1.5 seconds off of the race lead. And he's flying through sector 1 is Bas Lammers. Meantime, at this part of the field, which is being led by Patrick Snolls Lochmelis. Now, folks, this is for 4th. This is where DD2 is the ultimate class in road tax racing. Close quarter, bang for your buck, and action aplenty. And now, Bas Lammers, new fastest lap, another one in a row for the Dutchman. He's less than 3/10 behind Jules Cousin, and he's got an opportunity to close in on Nikita Genza. Bas Lammers was nearly 2/10 quicker in the opening sector, was nearly a 10th quicker in sector 2, and Lammers is second. Lammers is second. Now there's clear air between him and Nikita Genza. Let the games begin, because Lammers now already is a kart length in front of Jules Cousin, heading into turn number 9. 21.733 in the first sector from Lammers. Slightly slower, having to overtake Cousin in the second sector, but he made up over a 10th and a half on Nikita Genza in the opening sector alone, did Bas Lammers. Lotchmel is starting to stretch the legs of the Birol ART as he pulls away from Maxime Dirix. Now the gap between Lammers and Genza is just over a second. Can there be some magic in the next 2.5 minutes from Bas Lammers? Maslakovic swarming all over the back of Maxime Dirix, who's lost out to Karl Borgaard in the meantime. Fabian Bock in the 481 is still there or thereabouts. And welcome along, Gregorio Bertocco. Ciao. In the chat. And again, another half a tenth. Lammers losing a little bit in sector 2, but it's in sectors 1 and 3 where he really does make up the time. I think Nikita Genza is going to be very, very worried, because tomorrow there's going to be someone alongside him that will give him every single bit of tuition that Nikita Genza will ever need. And if you need that, you will get a racing lesson from Bas Lammers. So the timer is counting down. That gap is sort of stabilising between first and second position. And still the squabbles happen from behind Maxime Dirix. And that is David Maslakovic, who's got Yannick Nielsen right behind him in the 507. Fabian Bock and Tim Mika-Metz round out the top 10. But look at the freight train. Forget the trolley train, it's the Maslakovic train right now getting into turn number 10. As the timer hits 0. That is it. One more lap to go after this one. The final lap board is out. Bas Lammers is now nearly 9/10 of a second behind Nikita Genza. Can he pull it out of the bag? I don't think he's going to be able to, with the pace that Genza has had from lights out. Chicken sprockets indeed, Elliot Papacena. Shame on you, good sir. But Lammers has been pretty much throughout the majority of this race getting closer and closer to Nikita Genza. It's been an absolute textbook from the man from the Netherlands, the Flying Dutchman, Bas Lammers himself. He's still very capable behind the wheel, but out of turn 11, it's going to be 2 wins, and it's going to put him on superheat pole position for tomorrow. Gratulira, Nikita Genza out of the final corner. He takes the win and provisionally books his place on pole position for the DD2 Superheat tomorrow. And if Bas Lammers will be on row 2, because I know for a fact that well, hang on a second. Maybe based on the scoring, it could be the fact that Maxime Dirix finds himself on row 2, and Lammers is alongside this man, Nikita Genza from Door Motorsport, taking 2 wins today. So Nikita Genza wins the final race of Heat Day here at the Rotax Max Challenge Grand Festival and Golden Trophy for 2023 by 9/10 of a second ahead of the legend that is Mr. Bas Lammers. Jules Cousin, Patrick Knowles, Loch Mellis, Karl Borgaard, Maxime Dirix, Yannick Nielsen takes the win in DD2 Masters in 7th ahead of David Maslakovic, Tim Mika-Metz, Fabian Bock, rounding out the top 10 overall. Florian Breitenbach takes 11th, Brian Anker, Nikolai Christensen, Luca Filipponi and Igor Mukin round out the top 15 Christensen and Filipponi ran at the top 3 in DD2 Masters. Yori Klebo, Mats Overhoff, Tristan Rennie, Lucas Libert, and Nicolas Guillaume ran at the top 20. Dimo Noto Francesco in 21st ahead of Adrian Yenestad Kuriku, Jan Eckstein, Lucas Dolezal, and S.H. Moon rounding out the 25 that finished the race. Unfortunately, on lap 3, we lost Manuel Tenchet, and a smile, a thumbs up, and a wave from Baz Lammers. Great to have him back on the grid. And that concludes the racing action here at Karting Genk under the floodlights and under the early nighttime sky here in Limburg in Belgium. Well, it was going to be a duel at the front end of the field, especially when we had two young but very, very hungry individuals at the front end of the field. When the lights went out, it was DD2 versus Genza, and we got a very early indication of what we might see in the super final and the super heat and the final tomorrow. Maslakovic would make an early run towards the sharp end of the field as DD2 would drop to 4th. Lammers would try and also move up the order as Yannick Nielsen was trying to consolidate a lead in DD2 Masters. Then Lammers pulled this blinder of a move. It was textbook. Both gave each other respect and racing room, and that is what counts in DD2 and DD2 Masters. Lammers would then start charging his way through the field as Patrick Knowles Lochmelis sent this dive bomb up the inside of David Maslakovic through turn number 10, went a little bit wide, and then would have to try and go in with them. Sparks flying from the back end of the Birol ART, and Baz Lammers just casually went round the outside of the Latvian in the process through turn 11. Then another casualty falling by the wayside as Maslakovic would lose out 3rd position to Lammers, who would then start chasing down those in front. DD2 would then get back on the good right foot, and get himself past Lochmelis. In the meantime, coming out of the 12th and final corner, the mechanics on the gantry just off the final corner, giving their advice to their drivers. Again, another move, this time up the inside of Maslakovic, who nearly went sidewall to sidewall with Patrick Knowles Lochmelis coming out of the final corner. And then Karl Borgard tried to also put his 2 cents into the ring, firing up the inside of the Polish driver. But it was all for themselves in this final race of the heat stay. And then there was the move that would mean that a certain Baz Lammers would make his way past Jules Cousin and then start to try and chase down what was a significant disadvantage to the best part of nearly a second and a half for Baz Lammers. More dramas from Maslakovic coming out of the final corner with the likes of Yannick Nielsen, Fabian Bock. But Nikita Genza, 2 wins from 2 races, puts himself on provisional superheat pole at 12:30 local time tomorrow.